Hey friends, this is Statler. Welcome to another episode of The Tell-All. Today we are speaking with Daonte, who has been on 3 seasons of Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. These are shows where he's dating an inmate after because he's dated multiple people, have been released from prison. So it's a really interesting concept. I don't know if you've seen it. I know a lot of people who watch the show that I've been on have seen it. It was my first time watching it, honestly, but it was so interesting and now I'm hooked. So I really hope you enjoy this conversation. If you'd like to hear more or support us, please subscribe to our Patreon. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to us. We could use any help that you're willing to give us. We appreciate you so much. And let's see what happens. Hey friends, this is Statler. Welcome to another episode of the Tell All podcast. I'm very excited to have a new person on the show. It is Daonte from Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. He's been on 3 seasons total, which I didn't know, so that's insane. You're like an alum. And you were talking about how, like, there's a lot of people that, like, keep going on this show. Like, you'll see them season after season, sometimes with different people and stuff like that.
Yeah, they call us OGs. So you'll see certain people 3, 4, 5 seasons. Then after a while, you see people on the internet. I'm so tired of seeing them. I want somebody new. Then when they get the new cast, they cry for the OGs again. So it's always some of us last longer than others. I lasted 3 seasons.
Dang.
One of my exes on there that had lasted with 3 guys. I'm the second of 3 guys, so yeah.
Keeps going on and on.
If they're interested enough in you, they'll keep on following you.
Dang, that's interesting. So, okay, all right. So how did you, like, get on the show? Like, what is the casting process like, or how do you begin to get into that?
Well, you know Sharp Entertainment, you know how it works. But to get on Love After Lockup, first of all, you got to be dating somebody that's imprisoned, obviously.
Okay.
But sometimes it's producers, like, sometimes they will reach out to them inmates personally. Like,
really?
They'll go on these prison websites, and if they see an attractive female or something, they'll reach out to them themselves and say, hey, are you dating somebody, or do you have some tricks or something like that? Simply because of how they look.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes, like with us, like with me, the person on the outside, you send them that email.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's pretty much what I did. Like, the girl I was dating, Nicole, she kept pressing me to email them because she wanted to be on the show. Because I told her about it while she was in prison. And I did it finally because I got tired of her yapping. Yeah. I'm trying to summarize it because I done told this story so many times before. But I emailed them. I told them my story. I sent them 10 pictures each of us. Yeah. And then they called me 10 minutes later.
Dang,
quick. Straight like that.
Dang, they were ready.
Yeah.
Dang. And so, like, is there a time between, like, they're like, all right, we want you, and, like, filming?
Yeah, it's like when you get that initial call, they talk to you. They learn about you, what they don't know from what you email. You know how they do. They try to get certain aspects of your personality to create this character, which I know now. And then they talk to your partner, obviously. They try to get all the secrets or whatever. Basically, they try to build whatever story they can, is what I feel like.
Like, even before the cameras show up.
Yeah. And then once you're chosen, you don't know right away that you made it, because we had to wait like 3 months or so before they said, okay, you guys got it. But we pretty much already knew.
Wow, that's wild.
But yeah, you wait like 3 months or so. And then, of course, the person that you're dating, like if you're the outside person like me, your inmate has to at least be about 3 months close to getting out.
Oh, shoot, right. That makes sense.
That's how it was when we were doing it. Like, because now there's a show called Love During Lockup that wasn't out when I was on the show. First, it was just Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. So now that they created this new series where now you got the person
in prison.
But before, when I was coming on, your person had to be at least 3 months close to getting out.
Okay, dang, that's interesting. So they got 3 shows, like, all around that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, as far as like, no. I was in the Marine Corps. I've been all overseas, but I ain't never done nothing television related. I wanted to. I always felt like I got the gift of gab. Right. You know, I got a presence.
Yeah, yeah.
I just never really knew how to get there. Like I never had an opportunity up until I decided to get involved with an inmate, and there it was. I mean,
That's wild. Damn.
yeah.
Okay, so like the cameras show up, the lights, everything. Like, how big of a like how many people are there and everything? Like,
You mean when you're filming initially?
yeah,
I mean,
like the camera crew and all of
they had the whole crew out there. They got like 4 or 5 people for the camera crew. They have sound people.
Wow.
You got the field producer that's out there basically telling you what to do,
Yeah.
making sure the story goes the way it's supposed to go. You got the big boss over the phone or on Zoom regulating stuff. Yeah, I remember we were doing one scene. It was people calling my name, Daonte, while I'm filming, and I'm looking at because the executive producer was with me there, and I'm like, they're calling me, man.
What do I say?
I'm like, they can see what we're doing. He was like, oh, just don't worry about him. Just keep going. Like, you can talk to him afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, they're going to see what we're doing. They see me making me do this
Take
2 or 3 times.
and put it on Reddit and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he didn't care, so.
When they first come, is it, like, shocking to you, or are you kind of like, all right? Because it's just you at first. Like you're in this alone.
Yeah, in the beginning, they were only filming me because obviously she was still in prison, so I kind of prepared myself for it. Like, unlike most people, I'm always comfortable in front of the camera. Like, for me, it just felt natural. Like, it just felt like the cameras wasn't there. Like, at first it was a little weird because every time you move, the cameraman is moving with you, so it's kind of weird. But after a while, once you sink into it, it just came natural for me. Right. And then me, I always kind of had a little pregame ritual before I ever got on camera. Me and my friend Derek, who was also popular on the show with me.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked him.
We would take, some shots of Hennessy before we ever
nice
before we got going. So I think that's what kind of made our scenes a little better.
Chill.
And then I'm also 420 friendly, so
right, yeah.
A lot of the time, matter of fact, every time I was on camera, I was pretty much.
Season 2, I was like that the whole time.
You can see it sometimes too when I'm in the confessional.
Your bloodshot eyes and like. Oh, that's great. For those who don't know, we have the same like production company for both of our shows. So we may or may not have some similar stuff. I guess we're going to find out.
I'm pretty sure we do.
Yeah, I believe that too. In fact, I think my first producer had done some stuff from Love After Lockup. So she was like, yeah, I know this person. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, before you're doing all this casting stuff, you're talking to them. And you said they're kind of like creating your character. Like, and they're asking questions and stuff like that. Are they like hitting on certain topics? Like for me, they were like, so talk about sex all the time. Like okay, so like at one point I was like, yeah, I used to be like super sexual when I was, younger, like in my young 20s. And they were like, we love that. Tell us more.
See?
And that was one of the things that on this show, my character was super sexual. In reality, I'm like 30 years old. I'm freaking tired. I can't really do that, I'm just kind of like, I'm not super sexual. So that was one of the things that I hated about the character they created for me.
I didn't, see, you don't know that at first. That was the frustration I had with that production company, and I believe sometimes I get mad at myself because I feel like I ruined whatever opportunity I may have had for any other network because I was so venomous. But it's because I guess I walked into all of this naive and blind. I have a tendency to be very naive, and I take people at face value a lot of the time. So when I was presented with an opportunity like this, I didn't want to do it to begin with. I only did it because the girl I was with wanted to do it. Yeah. I didn't think we were going to be that interesting because I was naive to her too. So all the stuff she was doing, I knew nothing about. So I thought that I didn't think we were going to get picked because I'm like, we're boring. We don't hardly fight like that. Like, we don't really got nothing going on.
Dude, same.
So when I'm talking to these people in casting and, like I said, I'm very naive. So when somebody is nice to me and they're acting like they're friendly with me and all, and I have a tendency to open up very easily. So I'm not looking at it like I'm speaking to a television network producer, telling them all my business. I'm just looking at these people like, okay, these are just nice people talking to me. They want to know about my story so they can, I guess, figure out how to make it interesting. So I'm going to tell them. And so I didn't realize what I was doing was creating a character for them to give me. Like, I was just telling them how it was. I was telling them about my relationship with her, you know. They were trying to get me to admit that I had cheated on her because they like you, they were emphasizing about sex. And I was like, yeah, I'm very sexual. I love to have sex. And I was like, this has been the hardest thing for me to not be doing nothing.
Right.
And they were swearing up and down that I was doing something, and I wasn't. And they were just trying to get it out of me. And that's what created the Nicole Jr. saga character for me. Because I'm the type of person that I'll take accountability if I actually did something.
Right.
So the Nicole Jr. doll was mine. I did that. I went and bought that.
The sex doll.
Yeah, and I bought that for the specific reason I said, because I didn't want to cheat on Nicole, because I was head over heels for Nicole back then. Yeah. So I didn't want to cheat on her, but I know that I'm very sexual. So, but I had never planned on telling them about that.
Yeah,
nobody was supposed to have known about that. It's just that they were trying so hard to get me to admit that I was cheating. I was like, bro, I didn't. Like, I got something for that. And once I said something about that,
they were like, oh, what
here
is
comes the executive producer. Now he wants to see it. So now I'm on this Zoom meeting having to show them this doll. Oh, no. And I'm not knowing what they're planning on doing with it. I'm not knowing they're planning on making me look like a complete pervert.
Oh, man.
I'm just thinking I'm showing it to them so they can see, hey, he really doesn't cheat on her. That's I know I sound so naive, but that's literally what I was thinking. And next thing you know, I'm being told that that's going to be put on television. And I'm like, come on, man, don't do this to me. Like, because nobody was supposed to have known about that. That was supposed to have just been for me and Nicole to know about. It's just, they got it out of me. And I'm easy. I was so easy to get to like that.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I could be like that.
Yeah.
So.
I relate to that a lot because I'm naive as hell, too. So I remember, like, the person called me and was talking to me and talked to me for like 6 hours, and it was Christmas Day, and I was lonely and bored, and I didn't really have any friends or anything. Like, all I had was this relationship with this person who was, you know, miles away in another country, and like, I didn't have anyone to talk to. So she was asking me questions, and I was like, we're best friends. Like, I'm going to tell you everything. Yep. So I told her all the dirty stuff, and like, it bites you in the fucking ass, man. And like, you don't expect it because you're naive. All right, so you did that first season, you're naive. On the other seasons, were you like a little less naive, or were you still?
Well, also I was looking at it from an emotional standpoint, because I tend to let my emotions dictate everything with me. I used to. I learned how to balance that now, but I was like that. So from their perspective, I wasn't looking at it from a business standpoint. Their job, and now I know their job is not to care about you or how you feel emotionally or nothing like that. Their job is, once they get you to sign on, they got to create a story, and they need characters for that story. So whatever uniqueness about your personality that's going to make you cringy or whatever, that's what they're going to laser focus on, especially if you're a man. So that's what it was for me. Like, as far as like me going to another season, like the first 2 seasons that I did with Nicole, we filmed that all together, and they turned it into 2 seasons. Oh, damn. So I didn't get to watch one season and say, oh, she did all this. Now let me go back and do another season and invade her wedding and all. Right. No, it was all together. Oh. They came, they filmed with us for about a good week and a half. They left, we had a break in time, and then they came back and filmed the rest, and that was all together. Dang. So I was still naive to a lot of the stuff they were having me say and do. Now, by the time I got to my 3rd season with Lindsay, I felt like I was a little bit more seasoned, and I felt like, all right, I'm not falling for this BS no more. They still got me, though. They still did some stuff that I refused to do, but they made it happen anyways. But
how do you feel that happens? Because you're like, you are a Marine, we're a Marine, and so you're pretty like hard, like, you know. Yeah. And these people are manipulating you. Like, how do you feel that happens? Like, with us, I feel like, for me at least, there was, you know, I had no sleep ever. So I was like constantly just like tired and just like I was sick sometimes physically, like, and I just like, can we just do whatever to get this scene over? Like whatever it takes, I'll say whatever, I'll do whatever, like I just want this scene to be over so I could go eat or like sleep or whatever. Do you feel like you had any of that stuff?
If you're talking about as far as them working the hell out of you filming sometimes 16 plus hours a day and then them only using a little bit of the footage. Yeah. And there's a lot of times when they want, like, I don't know how it is on 90 Day Fiance, but I know on our show with that executive producer, if he wants something or a certain scene, he's gonna do whatever he takes to get it. He'll yell at you.
Damn.
Like he'll be, come on, man, be a man and do this. And I'm not saying he specifically said that to me. As other cast members I know it's been said to. He's came down on me hard a few times. Me and him have bumped heads a few times. But there are certain scenes where they want it out of you, and they'll. Like I remember a specific time. Now I'm going to break down the fourth wall a little bit. I remember a specific time. It was a scene where I picked Nicole up from prison and I drove her home to her mom's house. When we pulled up to her mom's house, oh yeah, they tried to get me to basically beg her for sex.
Damn.
And she gave me her response, and then I replied back how I would have normally replied back in a real setting. I was like, I mean, I respect that. You just got out of prison, so I ain't trying to pressure you or nothing like that. And when I did that, this producer came to my car door and knocked on the window. She was like, hey, Daonte, you're doing really great, and you're coming across like a really, respectful gentleman or whatever, but can you just kind of, spice it up a little bit? I was like, what, you want me to be a dick or something?
Damn.
They're like, yeah, just be like, I'm horny as fuck and all this, and I'm just looking like but that's not how I wouldn't have said that. Like, that's not how I talk. But then sometimes I understand why they want you to do certain things. Like, because sometimes it's probably the same way on 90 Day Fiance, but sometimes they don't catch everything. Like one of my scenes where I pulled up on Nicole with her ex-boyfriend after meeting my mom. That was real. That really happened. But
yeah,
it happened.
I was wondering, like, so were they like, hey, drive back? Or you were like, nah, something feels weird, like I'm going to actually drive back.
Well, see, what happened was that actually happened off camera when the producers left the night before.
Oh, shit.
So we did that scene where she met my mom for the first time, which that was real. All that was real. That was the only time she's ever met my mom.
Damn.
So we did that scene, production wrapped up, and they left for the night. My mom left. They left. She wanted alcohol because she stayed at my place with me once they left.
Oh, damn.
And you know how they don't like you to be together but me and Nicole were hard-headed, so we were still together. I didn't have no alcohol, so I basically took her out to a bar to get a drink, and I would notice her always on her phone just typing away. But I'm not the type of person that's going to play detective like that. Like, I would see it. I see her typing away, and I just never bothered to ask.
Yeah.
She happened to set the phone down. I seen Zach is typing off of her Snapchat.
Hell no.
And I was just like, okay. I was kind of sitting like this because I knew who that was because she still hadn't taken the guy's pictures down off her Instagram or nothing. So I knew who the guy was. Then I saw on her text message the letter Z. So I'm like, she texting somebody, but I just kind of left it alone. And then I took her home that night. And for whatever reason, something just told me to turn my ass around. Damn. So that's what happened. I turned around and like you saw in that scene, I sat right there at that stop sign for a few minutes. But what happened was everything that you seen actually happened like that. I just threw more things out of my car because I had more. But I quit that night. I called production and said, I'm done with this. I quit. I'm not doing this shit. I done called it cheating on me. I'm done. I called my friend Derek going off, and I told them I was done. They called me. They came up to my house the next morning and begged and begged and begged for me to recreate that scene because I told the story so good. So that's an instance. So that's an instance where I understand why they want you to do it because it was good and it came out good. But
it was acting.
It was hard for me to recreate that because it was literally the night before that it happened. So I hadn't even seen her. Like, they wouldn't let me see her until literally the moment she had to put back on the same outfit. We had to wear the same clothes.
That dude even had to show up again.
Yeah, they paid him.
Really?
And so...
That's insane.
when you see us riding in the car, and I'm like, I think my mom's gonna like you. She got that look on her face because she knows what's getting ready to happen. She knows I'm getting ready to cuss out like I did the night before.
Damn, that's insane.
It's just
You're a really good actor, man.
The only thing I did differently that I didn't actually do was beat my steering wheel up and cried. I didn't actually cry when it happened. I was too mad to cry.
Yeah.
I did that for, I ain't even gonna lie, I did that for dramatics. I thought it looked good. And it was raining too, so it was perfect because it wasn't raining the night before.
Just like,
but it just happened to be raining that scene. So I was like,
emotional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to create the best breakup. This is going to look so good.
Yeah, so that's what that was.
Damn, that's insane.
But I don't think you saw my season with Lindsay, but they were trying to create this clinger out of me. And so they were trying to get me to send Lindsay a whole bunch of text messages back to back to back because whatever story she gave them, I guess they got it in their mind that I was a clinger. And so that's the one thing I refused to do because I was like, I didn't actually do that. Matter of fact, I put that on my YouTube. I screenshot the producer's text messages to me.
That
you
was
saw that?
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I screenshot all that because I'm like, y'all not about to play me. I'm about to put up everything that these people did. I seen Lindsay on this scene with this phone and all these text messages. That wasn't me.
But had your name on it?
Yeah, and it was like this eggplant misses you too and all that. I was like, I don't even talk like that. And I threw my phone at the wall. I was like, I can't believe this, man.
That's freaking horrible. Wow.
But it's because, I had to understand if they want what they want, they're gonna
get it no matter how.
He told me himself, you sign with me, you make a deal with the devil. Because I've worked with the actual executive producer himself. He's came and filmed certain scenes with me. So,
dang, that is crazy though. Like,
yeah,
they never I just can't even because they're literally pretending to be you at certain points.
Yeah, I'm assuming that one of the producers out there I've seen them do it before. They just kind of change the name, have Lindsay change their name to me. So that they can send me whatever the line is supposed to be like.
That's freaking crazy.
I believe I put the whole script out there at one point when I was married.
Wow.
Because one of the producers out there fucked up and sent me the script. And so I seen it where I put that on my YouTube channel.
There's like a whole literal script, here's what they're going to say
they
at
had
this
a whole
time.
Layout for us, what we were supposed to. It was like Daonte and his mom at the furniture store, and the story we're trying to build here is clinger. And I was pissed off at that, and I remember I circled that and screenshot it and put it on my YouTube channel.
Dude, that's insane.
Because I was like, I didn't actually, I'm not even the one that shared that originally. My ex-girlfriend did. See, my ex-girlfriend used to sometimes involve herself with that stuff, and she sometimes would get me in trouble with production because she was super I don't want to say insecure, but just super emotional. And I was broken up with Lindsay, but our season hadn't aired yet, so a lot of times I had to portray as if I was still dating Lindsay, and that didn't sit well with my girlfriend at the time.
Hell
and
no.
So sometimes she would get mad and leak stuff when she was mad, and then Lindsay would make little comments on her lives and stuff, and she would pick up on that.
How much time? So obviously the first and second season are all filmed at once for you. Yeah. And then does a year go by, or how long in between that?
We filmed those first seasons within weeks of each other. Mm-hmm. We filmed that stuff October 2020. October and November 2020. It didn't air till June of 2021, I think, or July. Wow.
So you sat on it for a while.
So I already had 2 seasons done way before I was ever introduced on TV.
Damn,
so
that's crazy.
They basically aired my first 2 seasons back to back. Then we had a little break. Me and Nicole weren't dating. Right. She was dating Tia by then, or married to Tia by then. So by the time I was introduced onto the television screen, I was already dating Lindsay, though.
Whoa.
Or I wasn't already dating her, actually. I was 3 episodes in. It was 3 episodes into my season when Lindsay DM'd me. And so we kind of hooked up then. So while my first season was airing, I was in a relationship with Lindsay. She was just in prison.
Damn, that's
And so I was seeing a lot of other women because she was letting me do that. But, yeah, I was already with Lindsay by then. So by the time my second season wrapped up, they had just started the Love During Lockup series. So they had that going on.
It's like 2 years have passed.
Yeah.
That is another thing I wanted to say. They kind of just like leave you dangling. Like you don't know if you're going to be on another show. And like I've reached out to people and been like, hey, like I know you have some crazy stuff to say. Do you want to be on the podcast? And they're like, no, just because I might be on another season at some point, maybe.
I don't want to ruin that bad.
Right. And so they're scared to death because, 5 years from now, maybe they'll call me back. And so they want to be so good and they don't want to speak out. But in reality, I feel like they're probably not going to get a call back.
I'm supposed to be coming out with some kind of new series now. Sort of like the 90-day one where they put a bunch of different, I guess the OG cast members in the house together.
Right, yeah.
I remember going on a rant about that on my live. Like, it's crazy how, none of us ever really get to reach that potential and go somewhere. Like, it's almost like a stigma put on you to be on a show like Love After Lockup. So I was like, it's crazy how 90 Day Fiancé, who are under the same production company as us, get all these extra spinoffs and stuff, pillow talks and the other way and all this type of stuff. What do we get?
Right.
And now all of a sudden I hear they're trying to come out with something like that or already filming it or whatever the case may be.
Dang.
I'm not the type that's going to beg for nothing like that. I know my potential. I know I put a lot of viewers on that show, whether they ever want to give me my flowers or not. I know I brought a lot of eyes to that show, and I would never say I was the face of the franchise, but I had my run, and so.
Yeah, no, I was looking through Reddit. People freaking like love you because people like you're a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And
yeah,
I sometimes beat myself up about that because I do feel like sometimes I ruin opportunities, and that not with Love After Lockup, but just outside of it, because I feel like they do have a certain amount of power, and I feel like they got the power to reach out to other networks and say, hey, don't work with this dude.
100%.
I feel like I've gotten shadow banned a lot on Instagram as a result of them. Like, I know it's probably a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that's meant to sabotage me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working against. Like, that's why sometimes I beat myself up about it, but I can only move forward. Like, this stuff happened. I know I got potential. That's why I still have a YouTube channel, even though I may not get a whole lot of viewers all the time. It's there. I wish I would have been able to put that out when I had all the momentum. But obviously I couldn't talk about that stuff while I'm in the middle of a season.
Right.
So I had to wait uphill battle ever since. I still got my supporters, but I lost a lot of momentum. I lost a lot of friends, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of the moves I've made since then turned a lot of people off. But I always say I can only live for me. So,
Amen, yeah.
By the way, I've seen a lot about you online. I done heard people say, "Oh, she's bitter. She's always talking about how they did her so wrong." I was like, "Oh, don't that sound familiar?"
Yeah.
But like I said, I noticed that's why I done kind of took a backseat, and I'm kind of in a gray area with this instead of being so mad at production all the time. And they did this, kind of in a gray area with it. Like, now I get it. Now I understand.
They have a business.
You're a character, and you either got to be that character and be the best character you can be, or be bitter about it. Like my ex, Lindsay, I ain't gonna say she kisses ass, but I mean, she will do whatever it takes
to stay on the show,
to advance herself forward. She's straight admitted that to me. If she's got to step on you to get to where she needs to go, she'll do that. It's all about the money for her.
Right.
So
dang.
All you can do is respect that. But it's like I'm saying, like, as the more I sit back and watch social media now, I look at all these new cast members, and even ones prior to me, it seems to not matter at all. What you say, no matter how much evidence you put out. I can come out here, these people, we can come out here and speak till we blue in the face. Television is so powerful. Like, these people just only want to believe what they see, and that's it. And I done seen these new cast members come out and just spew the truth. And I would see people in the comments, "Oh, you're just saying that because you don't look good."
Yeah.
Ain't nobody tell you to sign up for this and that. And I'm like, no, listen to these people. They telling the truth.
Right. It just doesn't matter.
But I'm just like, you know what? I see now.
They want to believe what they want to believe.
They want their entertainment. A lot of the fans know the show is kind of partly scripted or whatever. But they just want to be entertained. So they want to believe that storyline.
Yeah. I feel like that would be okay though. I feel like I would embrace my character if I like kind of knew that going into it. But I was so
Yeah,
naive going
yeah.
into it that
If they,
I was like they're just gonna follow me around with the camera. I'll be able to live my life like normal. And
you
it's
think
not like
you
that at
think you're
all.
gonna get to be you, and they're just
Yeah.
gonna follow you. You don't know
And
if
I'm
they tell like yeah, you're. It's like you just said. If they was to tell you that, I would be okay with that. But I think the reason why they don't is because they wanted to be authentic. They wanted to be. If you know what you're gonna have, like if you have a predetermined idea of what you're gonna have to do, it ain't gonna come across as authentic, and it probably won't look real to the audience. So that's how they look at it.
right, right.
So I see it from both
Yeah.
perspectives.
If you were able to talk to yourself before filming, like as you're signing the papers, like what would you say to yourself?
If I could talk to myself back then, knowing what I know now before, don't go in it with your emotions. Like
Mm,
go in it straight from a business mindset.
mm,
If you're going in it for the money, do that. Don't expect these people to care about you.
mm,
Don't get too wrapped up in it. Go in it for what it is and know what you're signing up for. You know you signing up for a trash television show. So don't go up there expecting to look like the golden boy, because it's not going to happen. So if you know what you're signing up for, go ahead and sign up for it. Like my problem has always been I've never been able to cloud out, like ignore people's opinions. I'm
yeah.
sensitive. Like a lot of people ain't sensitive. I've had to come to terms that I'm sensitive. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that stuff bothered me. Like I hated my character being destroyed, especially as a black man, especially because the majority of the audience for Love After Lockup is black people, black women in particular. So I'm already getting judged 10 times harder, especially being in interracial relationships and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could go back, I would know what I was getting into and be able to deal with it, not care so much about what these people are going to say. Because nowadays, people still talk shit about me,
Mm-hmm.
especially because of the relationship I'm in right now. And I kind of don't let it affect me as much. I used to have to reply to everything negative.
Yeah.
Now
It's
it
like
don't really bother me. I mean,
whatever
it is what it
belief
is. I
that
know
you
what it
want.
is, and I feel like if I would have had the mindset that I got now, walking into it, I would still be a part of that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I went into it green, full of emotion,
Yeah.
wasn't ready for it yet.
And you,
Like
yeah.
now I feel like I am ready for it, and I don't feel like an opportunity to come anytime soon. But
Yeah. Because like you didn't really know what you were getting into though at the time. Like you had
yeah,
no idea. You just went into it like you said green, and so you
yeah,
had no way. All right, so you're speaking just real quick. We'll wrap this up, but you did say you have a new relationship.
yeah. I mean, my relationship now is pretty well. It's probably the most solid one I've been in quite a while. It ain't perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
For as much as I put her through, and as much as she put me through, the fact that we still together says a lot to me because we have our differences. We're an age gap relationship, so
Mm.
people already have, number one, we're interracial, but people are used to that.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I've had to deal with not. It's bad enough. I got all this stigma put on me from the show. I'm already getting called. Got to live with being called simp, pervert, and all this other type of stuff because people don't agree with who I'm dating right now, and
Mm.
it's been hard for me. Like I might seem unbothered a lot of times. I'm always smiling. I'm always myself. But internally, yeah, it bothers me. I've been in a dark place for a while with a lot of that type of stuff. It's kind of hard for me to operate on my social media because when I'm in a relationship, I like to be able to share my happiness. I like to
Mm-hmm.
be able to show the world, hey, I'm doing pretty well. And with this one, I can share it, but it's almost like I gotta be limited. And then
That
I
sucks.
look at the grand scheme of things, and I look at half of these celebrities out here now that's in age gap
Mm.
relationships way bigger than mine. Whether it's an
Yeah.
older man with a younger girl or older woman with a
Mm-hmm.
younger male athlete or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it's because it's just that show, man. Like
Mm.
we all get looked at in a negative light. none of us get looked at positively.
Right.
None of us. Each and every one of us cast members. And it's because they don't really do nothing to promote you like that. That's what I thought that I was on a trajectory to do better things, but it's like they try to keep you in the ceiling, a glass ceiling. Like, I don't know. It's like they just don't really give you the tools that you need. Like they give you the tools for the show,
Right.
and that's
yeah.
it. So
Then they leave you high and dry, just like
yeah,
the rest is you.
I hate to sound
Good
like I'm
luck.
complaining or bitter, but sometimes I have those regrets. Like I wish I would have been in a different situation to go on like a better show or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I got friends. My friend Carlton was on Love Is Blind. I don't know if you remember Carlton from that show,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's my boy. And then my homegirl Jacqueline, she was on 60 Days In and Naked and Afraid.
Damn.
She did them both. Jacqueline's my homegirl, so
Right.
I mean,
So you're doing pretty well though. You're good. You're in a happy relationship.
Yeah.
What?
Mentally, I get bothered some days, you know. And now we're expecting
a baby.
Yeah, so that's probably the most important step I ever took in my life. Like
Wow.
I wasn't expecting it. I always wanted it. I didn't think it was gonna happen. So now I'm wrestling with, yeah, I know I'm this social media personality, I'm this reality star, but now I'm about to be a father. Now I kind of feel like I get to right a lot of the stuff that I did wrong. Like I said it in one of my live videos, I'm gonna make my son or daughter watch me on Love After Lockup, so they'll see what not to do in relationships, all the bad stuff to do.
So you feel like this show, like being on this show and everything's kind of like hardened you now a little bit to.
Yeah, I'm still myself. I'm always gonna be me deep down. But I used to be a lot sweeter than what I am now. I used to be a lot, I guess, nicer. I ain't gonna lie, I got a tendency to be a dick sometimes now. I got a tendency to be very cold hearted. My mama told me my words cut like a knife sometimes. My girl has told me the same thing. I feel like I lost a part of me that I used to have. Like I'm still me, but I feel like me becoming, I guess, hardened and cold a little bit has been necessary. Because I feel like it made me a better person because I don't fall for everything no more. I have kind of lost I'm not as sympathetic as I used to be.
Right.
I feel bad sometimes about that, but it's hard for me to sometimes just look at somebody and feel sorry or be sympathetic for something. Sometimes I look at you like you being just dramatic for no reason. Like I'm still empathetic. I'm still me. I still have it in me. It's just harder for me to get that way now.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess it's for me going through all of that.
Yeah.
The rigors of the show, the general public, all that.
Seeing yourself and then interacting with people, you kind of have to.
I don't really trust people no more. I'm always looking at somebody like they out for other things, or they got some kind of other motives for talking to me. You want clout. You think I'm gonna give you money. You think I'm gonna take care. You know, people offering me something. I'm looking at it like you trying to scam me or something. I'm always trying to cover my tracks. Like I'm so paranoid now. I feel the need to just keep receipts of everything.
Same.
Whether it's text messages or whatever. So can't nobody say they got nothing on me.
Amen. Yeah.
And when I know I did something that's gonna be humility or whatever, a lot of times I'll just come out and go live and tell on myself. That way ain't nobody else got that power over me. I'm just like that now.
Damn, that's wild. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. You've said so much, and it's been so awesome. I appreciate having you on this show.
I ain't even talking to death, my bad.
No, it was so good. You're so easy to talk to and like listen to. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like interested. This is all wild to me. So, and that about wraps us up. We'll see you on the next we'll see you on the next episode, and we'll see you at some point, I'm sure. But thank you again.
We will. I'm pretty sure. People, oh my God, those two are together. Oh, they're better. Yeah.
We're awesome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for talking to us. Really awesome stuff.
Anytime. Thanks for having me. Thanks for flying all the way here to see me. So that was
no problem. No problem. Happy to do it. Thank you.
All right.